And you're going to want to connect that up to your old DOS now. My DOS now. Okay, now that we've got all that worked out, let's get on for having some nice craft dinner. You like say, well, you get the song together and then it's got to be mixed and mastered. Like, you could start there. But how would you start? What would you do first?
Yeah, I'm not even... Where would you start? But like, what components are involved so that you know what to start like considering down the line? Like, once you can just get started with a guitar and a laptop or even just a cell phone.
Oh, and is he thinking like here's one song, let's do one song, or is he thinking like here's 10 songs, I need them mastered?
Oh, it's probably like I have like 13 songs, and some of them are started, but I'm not happy with them.
Oh, that's still writing process. Though.
Yeah, or some of them are just ideas and they haven't been started yet.
Yeah, and I'd push them away.
Where do you even go, like with that? Yeah.
With somebody who's never done an album, I would say do like a single, master it, mix it, make sure he's happy, and produce the one.
Yeah, but what if you're self-recording and self-producing it?
Ooh.
Because then it gets kind of troublesome. Like, do you want to do one song and like really take your time with it, and it'll take you like 12 months, or do you maybe just like? I guess one thing you could do is just bang out a bunch of songs really quickly. And try and get used to that, like, you know, like a quick workflow. Of like, I go in, I set the guitars really quick, and like, I don't really care if it's bad or if it's like distorted a little bit, or like, you know, try and dial it in, but don't spend too much time on it.
How did you do that series that you did you told me that you recorded it with your hollow body, but it was unplugged?
Oh yeah, I practiced the shit out of it for like 9 months.
Okay,
or
so
even
that was not
a couple of years.
Okay. So it was material that didn't need to be written, didn't need to be worked on.
And I had recorded it previously, but I wasn't happy with it, so I went back and did it again in one sitting.
Was that your first major recording project?
Yeah, that was the non-compulsory album.
So I'd use that as your template, because you did everything on that all by yourself.
Yeah, I guess if you're just gonna do it yourself, why? Yeah, it doesn't need to be complicated, because that one wasn't very complicated either.
Yeah, I'm not so proud. I would honestly just get a producer.
Well, yeah, but not everybody can just get a producer.
Are you kidding me? They're giving them away on the internet. Have you ever seen there's that Gene Media Creative Space.com? Just go buy one.
I don't know about you, but I'm not most people.
But just get on that internet and you order the parts and you put them on the car.
Yeah, well, you just do that. But, you know, what if, you know, you don't got 2 dimes to rub together? You can't afford a producer, so you decided you're going to get a DAW and go do it yourself.
Oh, then I hope you like reading readmes and watching YouTube videos by people that are like, don't worry, guy, I speak really good English and I'm going to walk this through for you real easy. Now, what you're going to want to do is take out your Sassenhast. Okay. And you're going to want to connect that up to your old DOS now. My DOS now. Okay, now that we've got all that worked out, let's get on for having some nice craft dinner. And then you're like...
That about sums it up.
It was the guy when I got painting, because I'm watching painting lessons because I'm trying to learn how to paint with pastels, and the guy that does the painting lessons doesn't speak English, so I'm just like
trying to watch what he does.
So I just watch, but it's different with paint. Whereas with like imagine if you're on there.
Yeah, at least you're just watching video tutorials, and you can rewind 10 seconds if you missed a part.
Yeah, they're pretty slow and forgiving. But thinking about like every time I go to look up something audio, a lot of times they are foreign vids, the good ones. And another thing is, how much patience do you have for readmes? Because like I'm a pretty patient guy, but there's things in this room I can point at that I don't know the name of or how they work. I could be like, I know that's your patch bay, but I didn't wire it in.
Yeah, what's one of those?
Yeah, what is that, and what does it do, and how come if I take it away, nothing in the room works? Like that's what I mean. So, Do I want to go and read 50 pages on that?
Probably not.
But then again, like you said, I understand what you're saying. Like, particularly in the client that you'd mentioned, Dawson is a creative individual who would figure it out. And I think the people that would want to power through and figure it out will.
Yeah. That's the other thing, too, is just to spend the time on it.
But
get the practice in order to get more comfortable with doing it. And then from there, the process gets smoother. Like if you had recorded when you were working on your trying to do a solo album with those groupings of songs. What do you have, 5 songs or so?
Yeah.
And you were trying to do it.
It just got so tedious.
Yeah.
And then another thing is I value the second opinion of somebody to go through it. And like a lot of times with my work, either I get to the point where I'm finicky, I'm messing with it too much and it was fine the first time, which someone would have just been like, it was fine, leave it. Or it's not good and I like it and somebody else could be like, you do hear how much feedback is in there. Whereas I'm like, no, it's awesome. I can't hear it.
I've heard some pretty low fidelity like indie bands. Or like guitar player through a cassette tape recorder, like one of those little handheld ones from Radio Shack back in the 80s.
Nice.
And it's just so noisy and staticky, but it's still music.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff I liked. Like it doesn't have to be perfect and flawless, edited into a perfect grid and, you know, all smooth all the time.
Yeah, it's I think it's a really up to the person, because you're like, for me, I would rather get someone else to handle it. And even then you can still, on a budget, I'm not going to get 100 producers to do 3 tracks for me.
Yeah.
I'm talking like somebody to listen to them and master them. And yeah, most people know way more about it than I do.
Yeah. Well, here's a secret for anybody who wants to go the road of Paul and just finding somebody to hire and to do it for really cheap, and you'll get what you get. But it'll still be better than what you could probably do by yourself with 0 experience and 0 know-how. So you go and you check out your nearest city that has a college, and you go to the audio department and you ask if anybody wants to take on a song for credit. And you establish a contact with those guys, and they'll have their own circle of audio engineers that they hang out with, and through that you could probably meet some pretty cool people that could probably help you out.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Never even thought of that. Weren't you an intern?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, didn't people bring you stuff? Yeah. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's cool because, you know, those guys are always looking for projects and stuff. It's like, you know, you're in college and you got to make a recording. So, yeah.
Especially
somebody
if you get
somewhere
away,
needs a band.
if you can get away using someone else's studio for like $30 an hour. Like
Yeah.
Go to the college, something like that. I don't know what they'd be, what the rate would be, but just
Yeah, it depends
thinking.
where you go, who you talk to.
Yeah, thinking about it that way, finding someone that could. Yeah, that's.
Well, it's food for thought, anyways.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Do you want to wrap the episode up? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's cut around that part. All right, we're gonna wrap this episode up, and
I honestly.
we didn't even intro this episode.
No, I didn't know
so
you were recording until.
All right, you want to wrap this episode up, Paul?
Did I already say
You got
that?
any closing remarks?
That you can just buy a producer off the internet?
Yeah, just buy one. It's cheaper.
I got 3 tabs on my computer: Amazon, Rock Auto, and Gene Media, and it just says producer guy.